Imagine this, you want to invest. You call a broker. They charge you $10 just to place a trade. You want to buy a single share of Apple. That's another $10 to sell it later. For decades, this was the Wall Street tax on regular Americans. Then, in 2013, two Stanford roommates asked a question that would eventually shake the biggest financial institutions on earth. What if investing were free? In this video, we're going to go deep. The origin story, how they broke Wall Street's oldest revenue model, the $28 billion GameStop saga that put them in front of Congress, and why some people think Robinhood could become the Amazon of personal finance. Stay till the end. The conclusion will change how you think about who really controls your money. For most of American history, the stock market was a club, and you weren't in it. As of 2019, the bottom 50% of U.S. households owned less than 1% of all stocks. The top 1%, they owned 38%. Then a new generation showed up, millennials, Gen Z, armed with smartphones and zero patience for gatekeepers. Robinhood didn't just give them a trading app, it gave them a seat at the table. But here's the deeper question. Is Robinhood actually democratizing finance, or is it something more complicated? Let's go back to where it all started. It's 2008. The global financial system is collapsing. Banks are getting bailed out. Regular people are losing homes, savings, jobs. Two PhD students at Stanford, Vlad Tenev and Baiju Bhatt, are watching it all unfold. They start a company in New York, building trading software for hedge funds. Fast, algorithmic, institutional grade. But they notice something strange. The cost to execute a trade for $1 billion hedge fund is almost the same as executing one for an individual. Fractions of a penny. The $10 brokerage fee. Pure profit. So in 2013, they leave New York and head back to California. They have a simple, radical idea. Build a brokerage with zero commissions. The company name, Robinhood. As in, taking from the rich, giving to the poor. The symbolism was intentional. The waitlist they launch, it gets 1 million sign-ups in a single year before the app even officially launches. Wall Street barely notices. That was their first mistake. When Robinhood officially launched in 2015, the established brokers laughed it off. Free trades. How do they make money? They'll be bankrupt in a year. They were not bankrupt. By 2018, Robinhood had 6 million users. By 2019, that number doubled. And something remarkable happened in October 2019. Charles Schwab, one of the oldest and most respected names in American finance, announced it was eliminating commissions. TD Ameritrade followed hours later. E-Trade a day after that. TD Ameritrade stock fell roughly 25% in a single day on that announcement, wiping out billions in market cap. Robinhood, a startup, had just forced a restructuring of one of America's oldest industries. Here's what I want to leave you with. Robinhood started with a simple, radical idea. What if the tools of wealth were available to everyone? Not just the wealthy, not just the institutional, everyone. In some ways, it succeeded beyond what anyone imagined. It forced an entire industry to drop its biggest revenue stream overnight. It gave millions of first-time investors a seat at the table. In other ways, it's still very much a work in progress. The GameStop crisis revealed fragile infrastructure. The criticism around gamification raises real questions about whether it's helping people build wealth, or just helping people trade more. But maybe that's the point. Every disruptor starts rough. Amazon was once just a money-losing bookstore with a vision. The question for Robinhood isn't whether it's perfect. The question is whether it's pointed in the right direction. And based on everything we've covered today, the product roadmap, the ecosystem, the demographics, the answer, tentatively, might be yes. The stock market used to belong to Wall Street. It's starting to belong to everyone. Robinhood didn't cause that shift alone, but it lit the match. If this video gave you a new way to think about investing, or about who really controls your money, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who deserve to understand how finance actually works. Subscribe if you want more videos like this. We go deep on the companies and forces reshaping money in America. Drop a comment. Do you use Robinhood? What has your experience been? I read every single one. And if you want to go deeper, here's a video on the history of commission-free trading. And here's one on the GameStop short squeeze explained in detail. Gesture to end screen cards.